I've spent over 100 hours in the past 2 weeks on this tragic, sadistic, mind-numbing gacha game, which is great because I love all those things. Welcome to Limbus Company, the darkest gacha game I've ever played. From its unique, amazing art style that perfectly amplifies the dark tones of the game, to some of the most convoluted and satisfying combat mechanics conceived by the human mind. This is going to be my twisted, dilapidated adventure through it all, as I completely get addicted to it. I'll also be reviewing the game, trying to break things down into a few categories: the story, the combat, gacha, progression systems, and finally, should you play Limbus Company? I can't think of a better place to start than the story. It's the first thing I did playing the game for, I'd say, at least the first 20-ish hours or so. Probably more honestly, because the story is just that good. I'll also be ranking each character at the end of this chapter, so stay tuned for that. Now, let me tie up my hair and get on my knees because its story is actually worth the glaze. I've read and enjoyed every chapter of it, which I can't really say for many other gacha games. Though to be fair, newer gacha games in general start with amazing stories too, but can't really carry that weight forward and fall apart, like Honkai Star Rail. But I want to say it's almost the opposite for Limbus Company. It has a slowish start. Maybe you'd feel more up to speed if you played the 2 previous games. Oh yeah, Limbus Company is technically the 3rd in a series of games by Project Moon, but it's the only one that's also a gacha game. Luckily, you don't need to know the other 2 to enjoy this one. But as I was saying, I'd want to say the prologue and even chapter 1 really are just okay, which is still amazing by gacha standards because 9 out of 10 gacha games have some of the most brain-dead storylines that even mindless AIs can regurgitate better ones.
Oh my god, I can't believe my eyes.
Limbus Company's story only gets better and better and better. I can also really appreciate that it's completely voiced. I hate when stories aren't voiced since I feel like voices really do add to a character, gives them more of a personality and lends more to a story than writing ever could convey alone. Even though I can't understand a single thing because the game is in Korean, the voice acting is well done and really makes everything worth lingering on for. I think it's even more important for a game like Limbus Company because the entire story revolves around its 13 characters, give and take a few extra ones. You want players to really understand and connect with these characters since it isn't a stretch to say that the core of Limbus Company are its sinners. Each story arc directly ties into each of their backgrounds, and each time it's amazingly done, often shooting them up on my personal tier list, which isn't hard since almost all of them treat you like shit at the start of the game, which you'll understand if you play the game. I don't want to say too much about the story itself because if you haven't played it, I want you to enjoy it as much as I did, and if you've played it already, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Or you can watch the 30 videos out there for a story and lore summary. As for the rating, easily a 9 out of 10, I would recommend. And as promised, let's rank the characters. I'm only on chapter 6 or canto 6, so please keep that in mind and don't crucify me in the comments. Or do, I'm curious what your favorites are. Sinner number 1, Yisung, S tier. Wasn't super annoying at the start of the game and got so much better after a story arc, which is for me when the game started getting super good. Even though I'm kinda dumb and didn't understand some of the sciencier parts of it, put him in some maid outfits please, I'd cosplay it. Sinner number 2, Faust, A tier. Like Yisung, not super annoying from the start, and her almost third-person personality thing, I don't even know how to properly describe it, but she's interesting. She also doesn't cause too much trouble, so thank fuck for that. Sinner number 3, Don Quixote, B tier. I love her burst of energy that she brings to the function, along with her sense of justice, and it's those reasons that I also hate her for. I'm also mad that I couldn't get one of her IDs that looked amazing, since I thought it was better to pull on the collab banner. I'll explain more about what I just said in the chapters coming up. Sinner number 4, Ryoshu, C tier. We're kinda going down the line, huh? I like that she speaks in fucking letters. Saying that aloud sounds kinda stupid, but the better word is acronyms. Fuck my life. She's also extremely violent, which I do like. I think the only reason that she's so low is that the story hasn't done a lot with her just yet. Sinner number 5, Mersault, B tier. Nonchalant king out here. Doesn't give a single fuck about anything. Almost soulless. but can't really complain too much. The biggest reason he's in B tier is because he has one of the most memorable moments in the entire game for me, which is in the Hell's Kitchen side story thing. If you know, you know. Sinner number 6, Honglu. B tier. The rich kid, aloof vibe, which I like since he doesn't rub it in your face too much, I think. The way he interacts with the other characters is funny as he teases them, and I like his design. I just need to know more about him to move him up or down on the tier list. Sinner number 7, Heathcliff. D tier. I don't really love the gangster street rat aesthetic, especially when they're annoying as fuck and all they do is yell and hit things with a literal baseball bat. But I am learning more about him as I play through his story, and I can see him changing and going up a few tiers. Only time will tell. I also do love one of his IDs. Sinner number 8, Ishmael. A tier. I loved her story and how she turned out after it. I think she'd make a really good friend. She's also one of the characters I used since I started playing the game, so maybe I'm biased. I don't know. Sinner number 9, Rodian. I think that's how you say it? C tier. Kind of the same problem with Ryoshu. There isn't a lot the story does with her yet, and I don't have a soft spot for like the older sister, chill, probably uses edibles lifestyle. Sinner number 10, Sinclair. Dog shit tier. F tier. I'd honestly make a tier below all of that just for him. First off, I hated his storyline. Not because the story itself was bad, but the choices he made just frustrated me. The helpless, weak character type that is something I never liked, and the amount of times he cried was giving me Deku anime MC flashbacks. Even after his story, I think he hasn't changed much. Maybe like one half step in the right direction, but man, I want to fucking kill. Editor Aqua here, let's just keep going and skip over me crashing out. Sinner number 11, Otis. A tier. I just think it's funny how much she glazes Dante, but also makes it so obvious she doesn't actually feel that way. The way she interacts with the other sinners too is just so perfect, and I love how it's done. It also feels like she has a dark side just waiting to be exposed. I'll have to wait and see. And finally, number 12, Gregor. C tier. Next, I want to talk about combat and its mechanics. But before that, it would be really cool if you liked the video. For each like this video gets, I'll have Yi-sung kill Sinclair 1 time. Or if you like Sinclair, please like to spare him. And if you subscribe, I'll bake you a cookie. As a smaller creator, it means the world to me. Thank you. The combat of Limbus Company is truly a unique experience, but something about it is just so satisfying. So behold, combat. Yeah, you probably have no idea what the fuck is going on, but it looks awesome. At least I think so. I can't explain just how satisfying it feels to see all your characters fighting together on the battlefield. The sound effects, the visuals, the impact each attack has, it's a masterpiece. But what exactly is going on? For the sake of the video, I'll go over the core of combat since it'll help understand the game a bit better. Don't be scared that this is probably the longest section of this video, okay? Don't click off, please. Just trust me, it'll be fine. Probably. Limbus Company uses a coin-based attack system. Each character normally has 3 skills. Each skill has a base power and a varying amount of coins attached to it. The coins also have a coin power attributed to them. For this example, let's say you're using a skill with 5 base power, and 2 coins with a base power 2 each. Usually in game, the information is displayed like this, where the base power is the number to the left of the skill, and the coin power is placed on top of the skill. The number of coins the skill has is also shown to the right of the skill. In this example, let's say we're going against something that has a skill with the same exact stats as ours. Let combat begin. Let's call this round 1. You and the enemy will both flip their coins. In this case, 2, with the chances being 50-50 for both heads and tails. You roll 1 head and 1 tail while the enemy rolls 2 tails. The game will then tally your total attack power, which would be the base power of your skill plus each coin that rolled heads. In your case, it would be 7, while the enemy wouldn't get any bonus from their coins since it both hit tails. You would win round 1. Each round you win, the other will lose a coin, So if you had rolled tails twice and the enemy had flipped heads, you instead would be losing a coin. Now for round 2. Let's say this time you both flipped heads, and your other coin flipped tails. It would result in a tie. No coins would be broken or lost, and you would continue on to round 3. This for me is the most intense part of a fight, especially when you each have 1 coin left, because you're just waiting to see who rolls tails first. Let's say in round 3 you rolled 2 heads this time. Even if the enemy rolled heads too, it just isn't enough and you break all of his coins. You have successfully won the clash, which is what this entire part of combat is called. And now you actually get to land your attacks. Each coin you have left is an attack you can make. Since you have 2 coins, you can make 2 attacks. Each attack also flips a coin, and if you hit heads, your attack does more damage. Did you fall asleep? But really, this is about all you need to know and covers about 80% of combat, which you can round up to like 90%, which honestly is close enough to 100%. So basically, if you understood the last 5 minutes, you will crush this game in the palm of your hands. The only things you have to do is select who you want to clash with, and what skills to use. But you can also just hit this win rate button and let the game do it for you, which is what I did about 90% of the time, until a boss tied me down and fucked me. I'm looking at you, Ricardo. We'll get to that soon. The last really major thing you have to understand is sanity. It has a range of 45 and -45, which will make a lot of sense in about 50 seconds. So you know how combat is basically a bunch of coin flips, right? But it would be kinda brutal if you had to rely on a 50-50 chance each time you flip a coin. Battles would be too random. That's where sanity comes into play. The higher your sanity, the better your chances at flipping heads. And if you're in the negatives, well, it reduces your chance at flipping heads. If you're at 45 sanity, your chance to land on heads is 95%. Yeah, each sanity just adds a percent to your chance at landing heads, or removes 1%. You gain sanity by winning clashes or killing things, which, yeah, I guess makes sense. And with that, you truly do understand about 95% of the combat in Limbus Company. Now you can enjoy the sweet sounds of coins flipping and landing heads in the background as you watch your IDs eviscerate everything in their sights. Hold on, this is just gambling. Peak gambling combat. No wonder why I like it so much. This is actually genius. Not only do you get to flip coins but rage when you don't hit heads, you also get to watch as you get clapped into oblivion. It looks beautiful too. There are levels to combat with skill effects, defense skills, debuffs, and other things, but it never really hinders you while you play. The game gives you ample time to enjoy the simplicity of its combat until you're ready to learn more. Even now, the strength of a character really comes down to its base power, number of coins, and coin power. I've seen some older content creators doom about combat being too boring or flawed, and I can see that being the case if I played the game for years. But for where I am now, I'm enjoying it. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I can see its pitfalls, but it's so damn addictive. With that, I think it's time we get to move onto the gacha. The actual gacha aspect of the game, I think, is dog shit. Like, the system is purely outdated. It takes 200 summons to hit pity, which is kind of insane. I don't think there's a soft pity either, which is mind-boggling to me. And I don't even think there's a 50-50. If you pull, well, I guess I should go over the rarities. There are 3, I don't know what these symbols represent other than a 0, so let's just call it stars for the sake of simplicity. 1 star, 2 star, and 3 star rarities. You can't upgrade or change a rarity like in some other gacha games, so if it's a 2 star, it will stay a 2 star until the universe collapses in on itself. But as I was saying, I've pulled multiple 3 stars on a banner and have not gotten the limited rate up, which is insane in the big 2025. Also, egos are its own thing, which are special skills you can use in combat at the cost of sanity. Think of it as a domain expansion, or something like that. I think they're worth using often. Egos have an even lower chance of being pulled, but once you pull them, they leave the drop table. You can pull multiple copies of the same unit, which gives you that character shards. There isn't a consolation system in Limbus Company, so you can't really pay to win. The rates are okay, but still the pity being so ass really brings the whole thing down. However, this is why you just ignore the fucking gacha. The type of banners, who cares? What you really want to do is go to the dispensary. There you can summon any character in the game. Remember the shards I talked about earlier? You You can use them to trade in for any unit you like. Now you may say, Aqua, but you still need to pull on the gacha to get the shards, you fucking idiot. And to that I say, boxes. You can farm these boxes from the battle pass, which gives you shards for free. And by free, I mean hours of your time. But hey, at least you can get the units eventually. I'm sure if there's a system like this in HSR or Wuthering Waves, people would literally pass out. I managed to get 3 so far from the system alone. Heisho Pack Faust, Rodian, and the Lord of Hungyun. Man, is he hot. I mean, so are the rest of these characters to be honest. Though, at the start of the game, I do recommend pulling on a banner to get units to use to actually clear the story with, since it will take some time to get these boxes. Unless you're a lunatic like me that did 20 to 30 mirror dungeon runs in 1 week. We will get to what that is soon. I got some pretty good units from the gacha, but before I tell you what, I think I should explain what the units are. Since the game revolves around the 12 sinners, each new ID or character you get is an alternate version of that sinner, a different world or different timeline. Think of the movie Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. It's like they can connect to this version of themselves that's somewhere out there, and bring forth that version's power into our world. It's really cool and I really like the way they went with it. A cool example is there is this gang in the world called the Middle, and there are versions of each character that are from the Middle, maybe a different world where they were part of that syndicate. That shit is awesome to me. As for what I got, I started with Kurokuma Ishmael and Felbullet Yisung, and the one who grips Faust. Those are the notable ones I remember. There were a few more, and then I got this absolutely insane triple pull from the gacha. I wasn't recording it at the time, but I was freaking out. Picking up Wild Hunt, Hierarch Candidate, which looks super cute, and Priest Girl. All very cool. Though I replaced them with the Heishos as I got them. As for a rating, I'd give it a 0 out of 10. But because you can technically ignore it, 10 out of 10. Only one more thing to talk about before giving it my verdict. The progression system. It's actually pretty simple. There are only 2 ways to make an ID stronger, by leveling them with level tickets, and using threads to upgrade their uptie level. The level just increases their stats like HP and damage, while upties unlock their last skill and more effects on their skills. Uptie 4, the last one, also uses shards, but you can just use whatever this yellow thing is in place of it. It also gets quite expensive, but you don't really need it for most of your IDs to clear the story. And you'll have plenty of time since it's the only 2 things you need to do to upgrade your IDs. The only thing that'll test your strength anyways are the bosses of Limbus Company. And those roadblocks are some of the most fun I've had playing the game. Raging and slowly understanding the mechanics, reading into what each skill does instead of just mindlessly hitting the win rate button was fun. It actually made me feel like the fucking manager of these guys, which you are as Dante. I know I haven't talked about him a lot, but playing as a manager and slowly putting the pieces together to guide your team is fun. I just hope there's more of it coming up, because some of the bosses I could just brute force through with sheer damage. I love the music, the lyrics floating around, and the story coming all together in this one moment. It should be something to remember. Though I can understand it being too hard for some people. So maybe adding a method like free revives, but they wouldn't be able to get the X clear rewards without doing it the legit way seems like a fair compromise. Like a rise all button once a fight instead of just completely giving up. I also like that you can quit out in dungeons and save progress because that shit takes like an hour to get through. Other than the main story, I had the Arknights collab which was okay. I didn't play it through its sub-story since it was ahead of where I am in the main story, and I didn't want to spoil myself. The rewards were pretty good, and the banner was kinda shit. I wish we got an actual ID instead, but maybe that's too much. I guess coming off of the HSR FGO collab, this was a bit underwhelming in that regard. The only other content I play for now is the Mirror Dungeon, which is kinda like a roguelike, but not really since I run the same strategy 30 times in a row. But hey, it at least lets you be unique about how you go about things. It was fun for the first 2 times, but after a while it just became a need for speed, which I don't mind. I wish they changed up the theme of it like other games. Each new season brings a new final boss that players have to beat. It would force change, and change is a good thing. Even if it ruffles a few feathers, being stagnant is what kills a game. I'll give the progression systems and Endgame, I say that loosely, a 9 out of 10 and a 7 out of 10 respectively. The systems I loved along with the boss mechanics I've run into so far. while the collab and Endgame aren't anything too crazy to write home about. And with that, my 100-hour adventure comes to its end. I've got an amazing team, loving the story, and continuing to play it. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. I do want to make more friends that play the game, so if you do, feel free to join my server or even DM me. And if you like the video, I'll make more Limbus content or videos like this. If you subscribe, I think you're really cute, and until next time, I hope to see you there. Also, please add an index ID. I need them so bad.